guys, for Complex News, I'm Natasha Martinez. We've reached that time of year again where we find ourselves feeling nostalgic for what has passed throughout the last 12 months. The good, the bad, and the ugly are all remembered as we get ready to close out not only another year, but another decade. Sometimes looking back can be a bit overwhelming. We see what we got to accomplish and what we didn't get to accomplish. So let's just take the pressure off of ourselves and look to popular culture to reminisce, specifically hip-hop. It's no surprise that hip-hop has reached supreme levels of influence. Not only is it the biggest music genre today, but its impact has broken a lot of different sectors of modern pop culture. A lot happened in the community in 2019, so here's a timeline of some of hip-hop's biggest moments. January, Kanye starts Sunday service. The first week of January saw one of the year's most talked about moments conceptualized, and it all started with a phone call to Jason White, a former music director to the West Angeles church. White was connected to Kanye West, and the only information he got was that he needed a choir of 100 people. So he did just that, gathered 100 singers to start up this unknown project with Kanye. White was admittedly nervous to work with the artist, but in an interview with Rolling Stone, he revealed that he immediately saw something different about Ye's energy. "I met him that night in rehearsal, and I could see something different about this guy. We started singing songs, and then he would call me over. I don't want to say those words." Kanye had White work on rewriting songs that had profanities in them and turn them into what he called godly music. "I so admired West, the stance he was taking. He wanted to do godly music, Christian music. He wanted to change all of his songs. We started out rewriting Ghost Town, then Lift Yourself, other songs from his records. That was the beginning of Sunday service." White thought he would be working with Kanye for 2 or 3 weeks, but we all know Sunday service has grown into much more than that. The often star-studded gatherings happen weekly, and while it's undeniably moving and sonically gorgeous, the services have been met with controversy. But honestly, you can't have Kanye without a little controversy. Love it or hate it, you're always going to tune in. February, 21 Savage gets arrested. February came as a shock to fans and supporters of 21 Savage, who was arrested by ICE officials on Super Bowl Sunday. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement led a targeted operation to get 21 into custody because of their claim that he was unlawfully present in the United States after his visa from the UK expired 13 years ago and that he was a convicted felon. The community was taken by surprise to learn that 21's roots were actually from the London borough of Newham, not Atlanta, like he had been repping for his entire career. However, 21 insists ATL is all he's known since he's moved to the US when he was just 7 years old. He was aware that his visa was up, and in 2017 he applied to become a lawful permanent resident, yet ICE still went in and denied the rapper bond. A huge outpouring of support came from fans and fellow artists, including Jay-Z and Roc Nation, who supplied 21 with the best legal team out there to help resolve the situation. The arrest and detention of 21 Savage is an absolute travesty. His U visa petition has been pending for 4 years. In addition to being a successful recording artist, 21 deserves to be reunited with his children immediately. Hashtag free 21 Savage. After 9 days in custody, 21 Savage was released on $100,000 bond. Unfortunately, 21 is still dealing with ICE. Back in November, it was reported that they are stopping 21 from leaving the country to tour until his issues with immigration are resolved, which could take years. His case has not received a court date yet, so here's to 21 ridding himself of ICE once and for all in the new decade. March, DaBaby's breakout moment and Nipsey Hussle's untimely death. 2019 was hands down DaBaby's year. His breakout was met with open arms by the hip-hop community and beyond. On March 1st, the rapper released his debut album Baby on Baby, which featured Going Baby and Suge, which was easily our number 2 pick on Complex's Best Songs of 2019 list. After the success of his debut, he released Kirk in September. That album landed him his first number 1 on the Billboard 200, plus every single one of the 13 tracks landed on the Hot 100 at the same time. It's clear people couldn't get enough of DaBaby, and that propelled him to being arguably the best new artist of 2019. But as one star rose, another fell. On March 31st, news of Nipsey Hussle's death started circulating the internet. The Los Angeles rapper was shot multiple times outside of his Marathon clothing store in Crenshaw. He later passed away at a nearby hospital. Nipsey was more than just a public figure and artist. He was a father, brother, partner, and family to his friends and anyone that he touched throughout his life. The loss of Nipsey was felt immensely in the hip-hop world and beyond because he represented community in the most pure sense. His absence is a tough pill to swallow, but he continues to inspire people to finish the work he dedicated his life to. Because of Nipsey, we know that it's not enough for only one person to be successful and elevate, but it's imperative that we help our fellow people rise up as well. May, Megan Thee Stallion's Hot Girl Summer. If DaBaby was the king of 2019, Megan was the queen. The Houston rapper was the first female signee to 300 Entertainment before finally inking a deal with Roc Nation. Megan came on the scene like a blazing fire, which was fitting for her debut album Fever that was met with critical acclaim. Megan dropped the album on May 17th and proved that she could not only hang in the boys club, but that she could surpass what anyone expected by completely infiltrating popular culture and, of course, Hot Girl Summer. Look at any one of your friends' Instagram pages this year and you're gonna be guaranteed to see a caption or comment reading Hot Girl Summer. The phrase's origin story starts with Meg and her legion of hotties completely leaning into the rapper's philosophy of not giving a care in the world about what others want you to do, think, or say, and living your best life. During an interview with The Root, Megan described the meaning behind the viral phrase. It's just basically about women and men just being unapologetically them, just having a good ass time, hyping up your friends, doing you, not giving a damn about what nobody got to say about it. You definitely have to be a person that can be the life of the party and, you know, just a bad. June, Jay-Z becomes hip-hop's first billionaire. In June, Hov officially became hip-hop's first billionaire. According to Forbes, the artist-turned-entrepreneur's business empire is worth $1 billion thanks to his music endeavors, along with investments in liquor, art, real estate, and shares. Forbes calculated that Hov has around $220 million in cash and investments, which includes an estimated $70 million stake in Uber that he purchased for $2 million in 2013, $100 million in Douce, and $310 million in his champagne Armand de Brignac. For music, he has $100 million in Tidal, $75 in Roc Nation, and $75 in his own music catalog. But for fans and peers alike, Jay-Z's milestone meant so much more than just representing the rap community. Swizz Beatz told Forbes, "It's bigger than hip-hop. It's the blueprint for our culture. A guy that looks like us, sounds like us, loves us, made it to something that we always felt was above us. If he's a billionaire now, imagine what he's about to be. Because he's only just starting." July, Old Town Road becomes longest-running #1 in Billboard history. From TikTok meme to breaking historical records, Lil Nas X's Old Town Road had quite the journey leading up to July. The song first started climbing the country charts after becoming viral on TikTok. However, Lil Nas X's song was met with a lot of controversy, with country fans saying that it wasn't truly a country music song. Because of that, Billboard removed the song from the country charts, and so began Lil Nas X's rise to superstardom. After some tribulations, X ended up landing a remix with one of country music's biggest legends, Billy Ray Cyrus. After that, there was not a second that went by in 2019 where you didn't hear Old Town Road. The song ended up surpassing Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men's One Sweet Day, which was also tied with Luis Fonsi's Despacito, spending a record-breaking 17 weeks at #1. Lil Nas X posted after the achievement saying, "Did I know it would become the longest-running #1 song of all time? No, but I am so thankful that this blessing has been placed upon me. This song has changed my life and the way I see the world around me in less than a year. Thank you to every single person who has been a part of this journey. As I said before, it's just the beginning." September, 6ix9ine snitches. Following an incredibly tumultuous arrest, guilty plea, and trial, September marked the month where Tekashi 6ix9ine became the most disrespected person in hip-hop. 6ix9ine was initially indicted back in November and had been facing the possibility of life in prison. During his last day on the stand in the trial of the 9 Trey Gangsta Blood members, Daniel Hernandez, aka 6ix9ine, gave away names of people affiliated with the 9 Trey Bloods, including Jim Jones and Cardi B. It was later reported that the transcripts never mentioned Cardi B and that she denied involvement on Instagram. Still, various members of the hip-hop community, including 21 Savage, Future, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, YG, and more, trashed 6ix9ine for being a snitch and calling him a rat. Snoop even had Martha Stewart in the comment section, solidifying that even she knows to never snitch. At this point in time, the rapper was still facing a range of serious prison time, but more on Tekashi's trial later. October, Kanye releases Jesus is King. Finally, after waiting a year and some change for Kanye's follow-up to Ye, we got his highly anticipated album Jesus is King, formerly known as Yandhi. Back in August, Kim Kardashian shared the new title and track list, naming songs like God Is, Baptized, and Sweet Jesus, showing that he was keeping in theme with his Sunday services at the start of the year. However, we learned that all the homage to Christianity wasn't just a phase. Kanye was full born again and swore to leave secular music behind and only make gospel music from here on out, which leads us to Jesus is King. It's a gospel album, but for many it didn't hit quite like other Kanye gospel adjacent tunes had, and the reviews were mixed. Still, the album debuted at #1, making Jesus is King a record-tying 9th #1 album with Eminem, who's the only other artist to have 9 #1 albums in a row. December, Juice WRLD passes, 6ix9ine's fate is revealed, and Drake's Rap Radar interview. On December 8th, we lost one of hip-hop's brightest rising stars. It's still hard to believe that Juice WRLD has passed away at the young age of 21. His death happened suddenly and shockingly after suffering a seizure in a Chicago airport. It was clear to see that Juice WRLD's impact on music was more than just an example of a SoundCloud rapper breaking into mainstream. He was a voice for a generation who embraced emotions and issues such as addiction, love, and heartbreak. Juice's debut studio album, Goodbye and Good Riddance, released via Interscope and went platinum, ultimately peaking at number 4 on the US Billboard charts. Lucid Dreams peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. His second studio album, Death Race for Love, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in March of 2019. When news of his death started circulating online, an outpouring of grief and condolences started popping up from some of his closest collaborators, friends, and fans. I am heartbroken. I love you so much, Juice. You will be remembered forever. Switching gears, 2019 couldn't let the month of December go by without squeezing in the last bit of drama to it. On December 18th, the fate of Tekashi 6ix9ine was revealed. Following a whirlwind of legal troubles and a case that captured the entire community of hip-hop, 6ix9ine was sentenced to 2 years in prison and 5 years of supervised release. Looks like the snitching paid off for his prison time, which was originally 47 years to life in prison. The judge also ordered that when he is released, he will serve 300 hours of community service and face a fine of $35,000. While Tekashi's legal team was hoping the judge would give him time served and release him after 13 months in custody and full cooperation in helping convict 2 members of the 9 Trey Bloods, the judge made it clear that he did not agree time served was sufficient for Tekashi's crimes and involvement in the gang. Mr. Hernandez, I've given it a lot of close thought, including your cooperation. The following are my thoughts, and this is going to take a little while. You were in custody for 13 months. I agree you deserve a great deal of credit for cooperation. However, I cannot agree with your counsel that time served is appropriate. In my judgment, your conduct is too violent and selfish to make 13 months reasonable. You will not be going free today. Mr. Hernandez, if you expected to be released today, you will be disappointed, but you were wise to cooperate. Your cooperation will result in years more liberty. Judge Engelmeyer continued to give his sentencing of 24 months behind bars and 5 years supervision. He dismissed the court after stating that he wishes Tekashi very, very well. Inner City Press continued to report on Twitter that the 24-month sentence will likely include the 13 already served. It was also reported that 6ix9ine broke down when he saw his biological father in attendance after abandoning the family when Hernandez was just a kid. It truly was the most wonderful time of the year for Drake fans, or anyone interested in the artist's feelings about Pusha T, Kanye West, and his music plans moving forward. On Christmas Day, Rap Radar released an in-depth 2-hour interview with Drizzy where no stone was left unturned. The artist discussed everything from cultural appropriation accusations to hesitation about working with Chris Brown out of respect for Rihanna. The juicy details, however, came from the conversation surrounding his beef with Pusha T and Kanye West. While Drake repeatedly said he regards Kanye as one of his favorite artists all around, he did admit that he is the root of his major issues with Pusha T and is not open to squashing the feud with either of them. Drake was adamant about not feeling the need to mend things, especially with Pusha. When I was whatever 16, thinking that he was the biggest dope dealer in the world, serving bricks to every corner of America, yeah, sure, I was a fan. Now that I'm grown up and I know him and the truth, it's just not as appealing. Drake went on to say that he sleeps well at night despite keeping hard feelings towards the situation, which exploded last year between the two rappers. He clarifies that their beef is not like previous ones he's had with Meek Mill, for example. There's no turning back. It's not like those other situations that you mentioned. I sleep well at night knowing I didn't get outbarred. It was just, he told the world that the biggest artist at the time has a kid that he hasn't told you about. I knew for me, it was over at that point. It wasn't even about battle rap. What a year 2019 has been. There was certainly no shortage of highs and lows. How does it feel looking back? Sound off in the comment section below and be sure to subscribe to Complex News on YouTube. For Complex News, I'm Natasha Martinez.